In the previous video, we completed this diagram and we found the materials price variance and the materials quantity variance when the company purchased and used 210 kilograms of fiber fill. Now, this diagram will be slightly altered, will look just slightly different when the amount purchased, the materials purchased, is not the same as the amount used. So let's look at an alternate example here. Now, all of the information is the same, but let's assume that last month 210 kilograms of fiber fill were purchased, but only 200 kilograms were used to make those 2,000 parkas. So when you find the materials price variance, for AQ, for the actual quantity, you're going to use the actual quantity purchased because that is what the price variance is based off of. Okay, so AQ, when finding the materials price variance, you're going to use the actual quantity purchased, which in this case would be that 210 kilograms of fiber fill. But when you find the materials quantity variance, remember that's the variance where we find out what we used versus what we should have used. So AQ for the materials quantity variance won't be the actual quantity purchased, but the actual quantity used. And the actual quantity we used in this situation would be 200 kilograms. So the price variance will be exactly the same as before. We compare the $1,029 that we paid for the 210 kilograms we purchased and compare that to what we should have paid for those 210 kilograms. So here, that 10-cent variance per kilogram came out to an overall $21 favorable materials price variance. But here's where it would look a bit different when we find the materials quantity variance. So it says we actually used 200 kilograms. And how many kilograms should we have used? Well, to find out the standard quantity allowed, we took the 2,000 parkas and multiplied it by the 0.1 kilograms of fiber fill that we're allowed to use per parka. And that came out to 200 kilograms. So here we can see that there actually isn't a quantity variance at all here. With the way the numbers work out here, we actually used 200 kilograms and we should have used 200 kilograms. So 1,000 versus 1,000, there is no difference here. But when there is a difference, you find the difference just the same and label it as favorable or unfavorable based on if you used more than you should have or you didn't use as much as you should have. Now, when we're looking at an example like this, the two variances will not add up to the spending variance because the actual quantity used to find the quantity variance is not the same as the actual quantity used to find the price variance. So in the first example, we could add the two up to find the spending variance because the AQ for both of them was the same. But when you purchase a certain amount but don't use all of it, then the AQ will differ between the two variances. Okay, so just keep in mind when you're doing a problem like this, read it carefully to see whether or not the amount purchased is equal to the amount used. And if it is equal to the amount used, you can do the table or the diagram as follows. But when you purchase a different amount than you use, you'll have to make sure to use a different AQ for that quantity variance. You'll have to use the actual quantity used, not the actual quantity purchased.